the head coach of the national champion UConn men's basketball team. He is none other than Dan Hurley, kind enough to call into the Rich Eisen Show just mere days after it all going down against San Diego State in Houston. How are you, Coach?
Rich, I'm good, man. Pleasure to be on with you, man.
Thank you. Right back at you. Sounds like you still need your throat's still tournament tested. It sounds like your voice, Coach. You know,
still hoarse. Yes, definitely still hoarse. But the boys played at such a high level that I didn't have to really work that hard.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Where's the net that you cut down right now? Where does that net reside, Coach? Where is that?
I don't know, and the turnaround from Vegas to Houston was so quick that I think I might have mixed up the nets from the West region and the Natty. So I'm going to have to get like swabs and like DNA test those nets and try to figure out which one goes with which one.
Be careful doing a DNA test with anything from Las Vegas, Coach, but you knew that already. Just be careful. Just be careful on that front. But let me ask you this. When was the first time you laid eyes on Adama Sanogo? When was that?
Yeah, so I took he was an underclassman. He reclassified up like a lot of, or like some top players are doing. So I went and saw him as a junior. This was right before COVID, maybe about maybe 6 weeks before. So I got a chance to see him live and in person play in the Philadelphia area. And I mean, the guy was just a physical specimen. And then during that COVID, he actually reclassed up, at the end of that school year and was enrolling as a freshman. So, his recruitment got sped up to just like 10 days worth of Zooms. He was about to pick another school. We kind of weathered the storm, talked him out of it, and the rest, as I say,
is no doubt history. And he seems to have an uncanny knack for not just finding the basketball, but creating the opportunity to receive it. He is, I mean, when he seals, you're not breaking that seal, Coach, period.
Yeah, no, that's a strong man, and the guy's just like got an unbelievable competitive will, and he's got an incredible off the chart work ethic, and it's just very advanced in terms of how he processes the game. Being a guy that's only played basketball, he's got that typical, background that some of, guy from Mali or Nigeria, where, he was a soccer goalie, had basically been playing basketball for 5 years up to this Final Four. But, he has like that rare ability to play offense at a high level, just because, the guy has just got an incredible feel for sports.
And when did you get the sense that this could be it? This is the team for you and for the school and for them. When did that first hit you?
Not during the summer, because I thought we were bad in the summer. I was nervous. We would sometimes have, like you get out of a summer practice, you go into the coach's locker room. I think I heard associate head coach Kamani Young talking to, the great Luke Murray and asking him if he thought we'd be in Dayton for the play-in. I heard them saying that, and that didn't do much for my confidence during summer practices. But we got to a close scrimmage with Virginia. We knew Virginia was going to be really good. Andre Jackson was hurt. He missed the scrimmage, and we still played them to like a one-possession game. Jordan Hawkins dropped 30. Sanogo had like 24 and 12. And I knew once we got Andre back that we were going to have a squad.
Dan Hurley here on the Rich Eisen Show, UConn head basketball coach, fresh off of beating San Diego State and the rest of the tournament field to win it all, fifth championship for this school. The fact that this is now being discussed, UConn is now in the same numerical conversation. Indiana, the same number of basketball championships as Duke. What does that mean, do you think, Coach?
Yeah, it's Gino and Coach Calhoun, what they build here from a basketball standpoint. It's truly, they call this place, the basketball capital of the world. And obviously with what goes on, what's gone on in terms of success, championships, and the iconic players, men's and women's, it's created a brand in college basketball that is second to none, and that should qualify it for blue blood status. If that, I don't know who decides that. Is there a panel of sports writers? I don't know, like who came up with that. I don't know who's in charge, but and those guys, I mean, they built this incredible brand, and the university. And then when the Whalers left, obviously, the Huskies mean everything to the state of Connecticut, but we're the professional sports franchise of the state.
Let's talk about you a little bit, if you don't mind, Coach Dan Hurley. The fact that your family was there, your dad was there, PJ Carlesimo was there. It kind of did you look around as you're cutting down a net, seeing your college coach, seeing your brother, your family, your dad? I mean, it had to be like a dream for you,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was surreal. The whole thing was surreal. I always feel like, like at Rhode Island, I had some excellent teams late in my time there, and I think in year 5 we had a great team that, there was a great Oregon team with Dylan Brooks that were up 5 with 2 minutes to go in that game, and to get to a Sweet 16s, and we kind of, we blew it a little bit, and as a player, I had a lot of moments in my career which I thought, were going to be truly breakthrough moments, and as a player, I always, seemed to come up a little bit short. It was a surreal feeling to me, just with everything I've experienced in basketball. Really, Rich, that it was going so well. I was waiting for it to turn to what at some different points. But I had tremendous people around me on the journey. It was like, to have my brother and obviously my wife, Andrea, and my 2 boys, and the one that's on the team that got in every game. So that now I'm good at home for a while,
Yeah.
My dad, if that don't make her happy, a Jersey girl, and she's got, then I don't know what will. PJ, I mean, it was surreal, the whole experience and getting to the top of the mountain with all these important people in my life around.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even bring up the fact that it was your son Andrew who dribbled out the clock, too. I mean, come on, you can't make it up.
Yeah,
this cannot be made up.
And he buried me in a couple of the other games. Like I didn't think he was very good against Gonzaga. I think he committed a foul. He missed the block out, and then he turned the ball over. And then he turned the ball over versus Miami when I told him to break the count because the ref was counting.
Yeah.
So he picked up back-to-back turnovers in his last 2 appearances with, I believe, 2 fouls. So he hurt our analytics. He hurt a lot of our overall numbers as a team.
Well, he was just saving his best for the actual, net cutting for the whole tournament, Coach. He was just he was focused on the task at hand on that one. No question about that. And look, by the way, I'm from Staten Island, so anybody who's coached
Joe and Pats?
Joe and Pats, come on. So did you order from Joe and Pats in the Wagner College film session nights? Is that what you're up there in Grimes Hill?
It ate up most of our budget. That. Yeah, not the same resources. The Roadhouse, we had right at the bottom of Grimes, so that was our go-to spot, big closing dinner spot.
Fantastic.
In recruiting.
Okay, that's. I mean, and again, that's PJ's old haunt as well. I mean, would you mind sharing what conversation did you have with PJ Carlesimo, and was it lost on you or him at all that the head coach of San Diego State was an assistant of Steve Fisher's on the night in 1989, the same night 34 years before? Dan, was that lost?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that call, and in the beginning of the tournament, and then it was brought to my attention, and I didn't say anything to him about it, but I was thinking about it, and it's like we we both had some tears in several of like the times we sat down and did like the radio interviews, because like when I went to play for him, I was a mess. So, I should have been better for him. We had my sophomore year, we had a team that was a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. We rolled through the Big East regular season, and in conference tournament, we smoked Syracuse by like 35 in the Big East tournament finals, and we were rolling into the NCAA tournament. And like, I know he needed more from me for us to be like better, like potential Final Four team during that time. So by the end of the NCAA tournament, I was like sobbing and apologizing to him for being a mess when I was 20.
You mean you did that on Monday night? You told him that? Is that what you're saying?
No, Sunday.
Sunday. So the day before
we did the media with
really?
Day before I'm playing for the national championship, I'm apologizing to my old college coach that I didn't live up to what he needed from me.
What did he say to that? What did he say to that?
They are like most people do when somebody thinks you're crazy. They hug you and tell you no.
Well, you got.
That's how I felt, and I wanted to get that off my chest, because I think a lot has been, like, my career there wasn't what it shouldn't have been, and to a degree, I think a lot of that, even when you're so far removed from it, when you put so much into your career and something, it still haunts you. When I see, when you relive parts of it, of things where you could have been better, and now that I'm a coach, obviously I understand his perspective a lot better.
I was about to say, I'd imagine those experiences, I could say, forget about your Hall of Fame high school coach or a father, but I mean, these experiences you personally went through, player, and whatever struggles you had and were going through, has to have made you a better coach, I would assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think no doubt. The pedigree in the household with my dad is as great a basketball coach as anyone in his generation at any level, and anyone that knows the game truly, that has spent any time around my dad on a basketball court, will tell you that. And then Bob, so that and everything that Bob did in basketball, I mean, I couldn't have had better pedigree. And then you add into that just dealing with a lot of adversity and being a lot more relatable to all your players. The majority of your roster is gonna struggle during the course of the year and is going to struggle in their career. I mean, there's very few Adama Sanogos or Jordan Hawkins or Andre Jack. Well, actually, you know what? I don't have too many guys on this team. But it makes you relatable. I think, and the best coaches, I think, just that they understand the minds and can really help those players that are going through difficult times. And
I guess I'm mandated in my position to ask you about running it back. Do you think you're going to get all the kids back, or what's your sense as we're sitting here in 72 hours after cutting down nets, Coach?
Yeah, I think that there's going to be definitely the potential for a couple guys to move on with their career. I mean, they've climbed to the top of the mountain. It's rare in a relationship between player and coach, where you both kind of get what each other wants, right? Where the players deliver you the championship, the team thing, and then they put themselves in the best possible position to live their dreams. So it's like, I think it'll be a thrill to see these guys that end up making the move. Make that move, but we will be returning some outstanding young players that will potentially be high picks in next year's draft. We also bring in a recruiting class that is loaded. This is by far the best class that we've brought in, and it's not even close. And then I'd imagine that we're not going to have to, if there's some help that we need out of the portal, I don't think that we're going to have to beg the same way that we have maybe in past cycles, because UConn is back. UConn is back to putting guys in the NBA draft and hanging banners.
Congratulations on that. Last one for you. Let's drop names. Who'd you hear from? Who'd you get a text from? We're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Did you get one of those?
Well, yeah, I mean, Georgia Scander. I mean, there's a kid I grew up with in Jersey City. I hadn't seen him in how old am I? Maybe like 35 years. But then he went to every one of my postseason games. Like, I hadn't seen him since I was in high school. He just grew up in Jersey City in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, that's good juju. So I'm gonna get him on the ticket list. So there's some like strange ones like that where I got reconnected with people I haven't seen in years. I don't know. I think Coach K, I still get like,
okay.
You know, Coach K, I'd say I still get a little, even though he coached Bob. I mean, that's like,
sure.
You still, when you hear from him, you'll like get out of tension. He's very, you know, he got a persona about him, and you know, he's got such grace and dignity, which I can't relate to the way I act. You know, so I would say that more. Yeah, I don't know.
That's cool.
I haven't looked. I can be honest with you. I got 800 messages.
Oh,
and a lot of them I haven't gotten back.
Are you serious? What was the number when you got back to your phone? What did it say on the green dot on your phone?
It got to the high nines. It got to the high nines. I would never let it crack 1,000, but I think I'm at like 800 messages right now. So I got work to do.
Well, I'm from Staten Island. You're Jersey City. I feel like we're neighbors. So
we are.
Congratulations. There's multiple bridges and tunnels connecting our worlds. Thanks again for the call. Greatly appreciate it. Congratulations. It was a blast watching it. You be well.
Thanks, man.
You got it.
Rich.
You got it. You got same right back at you. That's Dan Hurley right here on the Rich Eisen Show, fresh off of UConn beating San Diego State. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.